I look a bit like an 8-bit home computer game loading screen. But that's not what we're here to talk about. That won't mean anything to a lot of people. I appreciate that. We're here to talk about dead media. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Dave, you waffled about that in your last video. Sony, physical media, 2028, no more games, blah, 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 blah. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about actual already dead media. Medium. No, that sounds better. If you were born after 1997, which most of you will have been, I imagine, if you're watching this video, you'll probably know what this is. Not Star Wars. Star Wars A New Hope was not released in 1997. Don't worry. 1996, actually, come to think of it. It's a DVD. And now, in the year of our Lord 2026, almost many years later, you can still buy these. We all know what they look like. Look at them. They're CD-sized. You hope you remember CDs. They're CD-sized discs. You put them in a player, film, special features, standard definition video, all the good stuff. And there is still a huge market for these. You can go into, if you go into, you just look on Amazon, go into your local video shop if you've got one, entertainment shop if you've got one in your nearby area, and there are shelves of them alongside Blu-rays and a much smaller selection of UHD discs. In my local HMV, there's probably still more DVDs on the shelves than there are Blu-rays, such is the popularity of the format. It de facto replaced video. Within a couple of years of it being launched. Video is still popular. VHS video is still popular, but there you go. And I still pick these up from time to time now, typically from a charity shop, second-hand shop, that type of thing. If something takes my interest, I'm more likely to gravitate towards a Blu-ray, or in the case of some films, not all, a 4K UHD disc. But that's not what we're talking about either, because this isn't dead. No. We're talking about a later format than DVD that didn't survive, and it would be. Oh dear. It would be this. This is the story of Luke Skywalker, the story of Anakin Skywalker, and behind the scenes. It's a Star Wars 3-disc set that I picked up recently on PVD, which is this. Now, just to go back to my DVD comparison of moments ago, just in case you're not sure what they look like, just show you them back to back because it's easier that way. There you go. It's slightly smaller. It's about 10. I think it's just over 10 centimeters ish. I'll correct that in a moment if I need to. It's an optical format again. Doesn't store as much data. But and also only stores 30 minutes of video per disc, which is why there are 3 of them in that. You could fit all 3 of those if you were to produce them in in standard definition on one DVD. These aren't standard definition. I'll explain in a moment. So recently I was on the wonders of eBay, and I saw a device that I only know of from other content creators, people like Techmoan and Billiam, that type of thing, and it's one of these. This is the VideoNow. Now, the VideoNow was released in the first version of the VideoNow was released in 2003 by Hasbro Tiger Electronics. Well, Tiger Electronics is the subsidiary of Hasbro. And the original device was just called VideoNow. It had a grayscale screen. It could display 16 shades of grey, not 50, big distinction. And it had an 80 by 80 non-square pixel display. I think also it did video at less than 15 frames a second. I want to say about 10, could be wrong there. And the disc sits up with 3.3 inches in size, about 8.5 centimetres. They were, comparatively speaking, inexpensive, and I'll get on to cost and where they fit into the marketplace in a moment. This is not the original model. This is the VideoNow Color. A year after releasing the original VideoNow, the VideoNow Color came to the market, and it was an upgraded device. First of all, the screen was backlit. It was colour, hence the name VideoNow Color. It was 240 by 160, so still not standard definition, but a marked improvement over 80 by 80 grayscale. It also had what I would call quality of life features. You could do things like you could fast forward and rewind video. You could skip. I think you could skip. Yeah, you could skip between screens. Again, you know, I mean, it's a robust looking device. In reality, I don't think it's particularly robust. I think it looks more robust than it is. It's not rubber. None of the edges are rubberized, and it is plastic. It's complete plastic body. I suppose if I dropped it, it might bounce unless I drop it onto concrete. Now, when it comes to the market, so obviously with DVD, you know, DVD was expensive. It was an expensive proposition when it was introduced, very much like Blu-ray and 4K. And it wouldn't be unusual to go into a shop and see a brand new film released on DVD for £20–25. It would take a long time for those prices to drop to 15 and now a tenner, 12 quid or whatever it is for a new release. And sales were a rare thing, because I think in the first year of DVD coming out there were only 12 films available, and some of them were on flipper discs, so you get halfway through the film, have to flip it up to watch the other half. It wasn't that the technology couldn't support putting a whole film on one disc, it's just that dual layer discs were I believe prohibitively expensive to produce because of the market. As more people bought into it, you know, like, obviously things improved. But it was still the type of thing where it was a home thing. You know, like you bought the film to watch with your family at home, or if you're, in my case, you bought it because you absolutely love films and you wanted to own it in the best quality possible. Which is why I've got some things like I mean, you know, I recently rebought Star Wars on VHS because I wanted it. I think it's special editions, admittedly, but there you go. I've got it in different iterations on DVD, on Blu-ray, and 4K disc. Just because I want it in the best available format. No doubt if 8K ever takes off, I'll switch up to that at some point. But there you go. That's the context of that. That's not to say that you couldn't watch them, you know, like anywhere but in the home. You had things like this. This is a Philips. This is the PET 710 portable DVD player. Now, obviously, I'm not. I mean, you know how DVD works, but basically, you know, it's a small screen, not the smallest available for DVD for portable DVD players. There were cheaper models with much cheaper, lower quality screens. There were. I'm pretty sure I've seen one where the screen was under 4 inches in size. But I mean, this was a recent purchase. Now this, admittedly, right, the battery attaches to the back of the device. I can remove it if I want to. You can charge the device using, obviously, mains power. You could get an adapter to plug it into a cigarette lighter if you wanted. You can run it without the battery attached, plugged into mains power as well. Just to start it up there, let's turn the volume down just in case, because I don't think this goes straight into the film. In fact, it doesn't. It gives me a load of warnings. It's going to spin up, as you can see. Let's put it this side because this is where all the space is. Look, tip it forward slightly because I'm not actually watching it, but in about a day and a half it's going to spin up and you're going to get all of the features you would expect from a DVD, which now tends to be the movie, but back in these days it was, you know, animated menus, scene select. No, you get those now. You know, extra features, that type of thing, audio options and what have you. Just the warnings going through right now. And I mean, these were not cheap devices. You know, you were looking several £100s for for an entry-level model. For something like a Philips or a Sony or like a known brand, you were looking at decent money. I'm not saying it was like £1,000. hopefully it wasn't, but you're looking at maybe 3, 4, 5, 600 quid. Same with Blu-ray, portable Blu-ray players. They were not selling for 100, 200 pound, which is probably why you see so few of them in the secondary market. I imagine it was only the manufacturers like Sony who could knock them out. But there you go. As you can see, it's, you know, it's a DVD in the palm of your hand. Look, there you go. Now, so this was ideal for obviously travelling. You know, like if you were like me and you really enjoyed films, you could take it with you. I used to have a second job and used to have one of these that I could take with me to the second job and just watch films in the background while I was working very hard, because that's what we did. It was a really, really good second job for most of it, to be honest. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But that was a long, long time ago now. Don't know how I worked all those hours. The other thing was you could play. Let's just grab it. Oh, hold on. Did I not get this out? I think I did. You could play VCDs on it as well. So VCDs is a precursor to DVD, much earlier format, again relatively low definition. This is another format I have the first 3 Star Wars films in as well. Similar thing, you had a CD sized disc because it is on a CD. Just load that up so that you can see what's going to happen. Is that ever going to load up? Play. There we go. So this was introduced in, so VCD, video CD, was introduced in 1993 and didn't really find a foothold in the United Kingdom. 4:3 ratio, so never widescreen, well, not widescreen. MPEG 1, whereas DVD was MPEG 2. 352 by 288 resolution in the UK, standard PAL. Well, analog PAL. Oh, that's George Lucas giving us an introduction to the film. It looks widescreen, but it's actually not. It's a I forget the term for it. It's a not a matted image. I forget the term for it. But now I honestly can't validate the authenticity of these discs. I got them on eBay. I used to have a set of these. I got rid of them, and I regret it. I believe they're from the Asian market, so there's an entire possibility that these are rips from something else. But I quite like them. You know, I'm into all that type of thing, just owning random things. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you had that. Knowing my luck, I'm going to now discover that it was widescreen, and it's always. I don't think it was though, because I mean the VCD is back in a day when most TVs were 4:3 anyway, and the best you could hope for was either a pan and scan film or one with the big black lines across the top or the bottom, which we're all should be familiar with if you're of a certain vintage. Let's just switch that off. So you had that. Now, so getting on to the point of this video, which is not to talk about DVD per se, let's just put that there. The VideoNow. So as I said, this is a much cheaper device than the portable DVD player, and it's got a much different audience. I believe, given the discs that came with this, I believe it was aimed at the the children to young teen market, and the reason for that, I mean, it has things like on this. When it arrived with a little case. I have a love of cases. That was one of the reasons that attracted me to it, and the price of the device. But you have things like you have a getting to know the device disc. I imagine this is. I did play it briefly just to test it. It's got Jimmy Neutron, SpongeBob SquarePants, and a Simeon. What else is in this? You've got things like I Dream. No idea. Imagine it's a Nickelodeon show. The Wild Thornberries. there is a full episode, one full episode on the disc of there, because it could only hold up to 30 minutes of video. So it's ideal for this type of Nickelodeon stuff, you know. And to be honest, most sitcoms could probably sit on it as well. You have things like Hilary Duff. I have heard of Hilary Duff. There's A Day in My Life, that one is, so you get to learn what she gets up to, a day in her life. I'm hoping it's very much like me, where she's sitting in a coffee shop, reading a book and drinking coffee. Maybe she's going around various shops, buying out-of-date technology that she thinks may make a good video, or because she wants to own them, which is what I do. I want to own these things. You've got you've got 2 full-length episodes of Fairly Odd Parents. 2 full episodes of Kids Next Door, 3 full episodes of Dexter's Laboratory, and nothing in that last one. So that's why I imagine it was aimed at a young teen market, well, the children's and teen market. Now, I couldn't show off any of those on the video now because I honestly don't know anything about any of them. Which is why I bought the Star Wars set for, I think it was £8 including delivery, which I thought was an absolute bargain. So let's start it up. The button is on the bottom. So it's got a little power button. Press it. No, that's an eject button. It's got an eject button. No disc in it. There we go. Let's have a look at the inside. Let's put a disc in it, shall we? Oh Lord. Right. Okay. Let's put disc 1 in. Here we go. So, obviously, being smaller than DVD/CD, a CD won't fit in there, but that'll fit into a CD player. Ideally, one with a little thing in the middle to stop it spinning out, because it's bigger than a mini CD, smaller than an actual CD. These discs, incidentally, are 10 centimeters. I want to say they are. I can't remember if I've said that. 4.2 inches, 10.7 centimeters, and they store up to, as I said, store up to half an hour of video. To start it, we'll pretend I went straight to this. To start it, press the play button, and it'll spin up. Here we go. On the top, you've got 2 controls. I've turned the volume down just because I don't want a content match, but I will turn it up when the speaking starts, and you've got a contrast feature there, so it goes right through the range where, you know, it can go really, really dark, really, really light. Here we go. This is the story of Luke Skywalker. At the moment, the Star Wars theme is playing, and we will in a moment. The story of Star Wars. Oh no, that's the contrast that I've just adjusted there. Let's set the contrast back so we can actually see it.
But I hardly know where to begin. Start at the beginning. Don't get a flip with me, you overweight globber, please. Just you behave yourself. Now, where was I? Oh yes, it was a terrible time. Arto and I were there.
So, as you can see, it's full motion video. I don't think it's 25 frames a second, admittedly, but there you go. And, you know, I mean, it's not a terrible screen. When you consider the device, I believe when it was released, the device was less than 100 quid. In fact, let's have a quick look. I should really have this type of thing up on my screen already, but, you know, we are where we are. So you're looking at it says that right, this is an article from Animation Magazine. It's an American magazine from May 2004, and it says that the player is, get out of the way, I don't want to sign up. The new player suggested retail price of $75, so less than 100 quid, with the disc selling for $9, 3 packs for $17. Obviously that's 2004 money. I'm not converting it for you. You can do that yourself if you want to adjust it for inflation. And I mean, the article points out it was there was competition from Game Boy Advance, which used to have cartridges. It still does have cartridges, that used cartridges and used to be able to get video on those. Again, low quality because it was a low resolution screen. I'm pretty sure things like some Nickelodeon stuff was available on that as well. And looking back at it now, I mean, so the VideoNow was to me designed as the type of thing you would give your kids to watch on a car journey, a train journey, or just when they're absolutely bored. Now you just hand them the iPad and they can go onto YouTube and watch Mr. Beast or whoever they want to watch. But you know, it was a relatively inexpensive way, and I mean, especially with the disc costing less than a tenner for a disc, and in reality, having a few of these, you could cycle them even through a really long train journey. They could just rewatch the same thing over and over again because they're not in that thing. I mean, as a kid, I was never in that mindset of, well, I watched that episode an hour ago. If I loved it, I'd watch it over and over again. You know, I hear stories of kids. Your friends have said in the past that, oh, I used to have this on repeat. I'm sure they didn't mean literally watch it, then rewatch it, then watch it again. But it was that mentality of, you know, like the entertainment was what it was. Now, as I said, it's a lower quality than DVD, but the market wasn't the DVD market. This is mono sound. Even pulling audio through the jack on the bottom, it's a mono jack. So it wasn't really designed for the type of person who would want to watch even one of the cartoon series that was released. If they had another way of doing it, video or something like where is it? Something like this. I mean, this is another way that I could have watched a portable video back in the day, and I did. This is an Arcos 504. It's a hard drive based player. Now this battery is absolutely stuffed, so it may cut out any minute now. But it was, you know, I mean, the Arcos 504 was not a cheap device. It was also locked off architecture. You know, it was difficult to mod. You could, you know, hacking it was a challenge if you could. This was a 4.3 inch widescreen. It played MPEG-4 video. It could play other formats as well. This one I think is the 80 gig model, 480 by 272 resolution, 16.7 million colours I would imagine. You could get about 5 hours of playback on a good battery, not this one. And you know, I used to have a TV series that I recorded on this. Let's have a look what's on it. There you go. I mean, it's pretty decent quality video. This is Freddy something and the something. I forget what it is. But yeah, you know, a relatively decent quality video. And Fast Freddy, The Widow, and Me. Yeah, so it was pretty good. Like I said 3 times now, pretty good quality video. Did the job. You know, the official case had a stand in it, so you could stand it on your desk. And it had a couple of adapters to do things like obviously get video onto it, but also attach it to a television, that type of thing, which you could do with portable DVD players as well, but not with this because it was never designed to be. This was the type of thing where it was one kid in the back of the car or on the train or sitting down somewhere watching something fun on a portable platform. I mean, there were other ways to do it as well. You know, you had things like this. This is an iPod. An iPod. I want to say it's an iPod video, but I might be wrong. Oh, it doesn't tell me what model it is. That's no good. I thought it did. Oh, it's an MB029. So whatever model of iPod that is, this is it. You could play video on this. You could transfer videos to it yourself using iTunes. You could buy videos from the Apple Store. I used to have a couple of films on the Apple Store, but apparently I don't anymore. So there you go. Back to my last video when it comes to ownership. And there was a time when DVDs used to come with a little code that would allow you to get a digital copy of the film to transfer to a device. There was things like the Play Anywhere scheme and stuff like that. And I've redeemed a lot of those, and they're in my Google thing on YouTube. They used to be part of the Ultraviolet library, but that went away and they got all transferred to there. And every so often I watch them. But my theory with that is if I want to watch a film, I'm not trawling through a library of digital videos. I'll have something in mind and go find it. The other way of watching it, of course, was PlayStation Portable, because this supported video. And the videos, very much like the VideoNow, would come on disc. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen a PSP, you've seen UMD, but you get the full film on the little tiny disc like this, in a caddy. Now the caddy's great. I love this type of thing. CDs used to come in these at one point. I think CD rewritables did as well. DVD, one of the DVD formats, I'm sure did. Should really look into that. Again, the resolution of the screen was 480 by 272, so it was a higher resolution screen than its main competitor, which was the Nintendo DS at the time. But we all know how that ended up. The Nintendo DS would win the day on that one because because it had more games. This, I mean, the PSP, very much like the Vita that followed it, are, for me, exceptional devices. I absolutely love the idea of it, and to me, it is still a shame that it never got quite the reception it did, despite some absolute bangers on it. That's the type of thing we say, bangers. Let me just find this. There we go. There we go. That's the screen. But if I start up the disc, you get the full film. Just trying not to catch anything in the background there, in the reflection of the screen, because the background of here isn't really photogenic. There we go, look. Alien vs Predator, not a great film. Weirdly enough, despite my love of films, I didn't really have that. I didn't buy any on Playmovie. I didn't buy any on UMD when I bought the PSP. I've got maybe 2 films, this and Dark Knight, I think it is. Dark Knight Returns, possibly, or Rises, one of them. And I bought them because I found them in a charity shop for a couple of quid. That's literally the only reason I owned them. You could get adapters for this. You could get little stands and docks and stuff that would allow you to plug it into, you know, like a little set of speakers, charging thing, angle it so that you could watch it on a train instead of holding it in your hand. There was all that type of thing. So, you know, it attracted a certain type of person. And it wasn't an uncomfortable viewing experience either, which is pretty damn good. But also, by the same vein, it wasn't necessarily the same market as the VideoNow. So yeah, so and it isn't a great. It is one of those formats that I think because of the limitations of it, and because it didn't look necessarily cool. As a teenager, I can't imagine carrying something like this when you know, like, I mean, obviously it was a long time before that, but Walkman, CD players, you know, like the portable CD players looked thinner, yeah, MP3 players were going to take off and what have you. I think because it would look so chunky, it would have looked out of place for the cool kids. I could be just projecting my coolness onto them there, but there was a lot of stuff for them. So let's have a look. So yeah, like I say, you had a lot of kids stuff. There were movies. There was Agent Cody Banks. I would like to. That says it's the full movie. I would like to see. I imagine it's on 3 discs. Haven't seen a copy. Did scoot through eBay just to see what was out there. And nothing really took my fancy until I saw this list. You had things like the Batman, the animated series, 3 episodes of that. You had the Britney Spears, Baby One More Time / Stronger, Toxic, Oops I Did It Again. So those would have been the music videos. 2 music videos, what, less than 10 minutes of footage on disc. But you know, if there was a market for it. Drake and Josh, Hollywood Yearbook, class of 2005. I mean, that's a classic. Episodes of Fear Factor, which makes me think it was leaning into that older market as well. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, no idea. Hilary Duff, again, A Year in My Life, On the Road with Hilary Duff. Right, so that might be individual episodes on the disc, but okay, that's fine. Hannah Montana, Jackie Chan Adventures, Jesse McCartney. There are some things that interest me. There are episodes of Mr. Bean the Animated Series, but only available in UK and Germany. That could be interesting if I can ever find one. Nick Mix, which is various episodes of different Nickelodeon properties. Two that do interest me, Peanuts. A Boy Named Charlie Brown and Snoopy Come Home. I wouldn't mind those because I was a Peanuts fan. Lots of episodes of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, which is something I might have to look out for every so often. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bishop's Gambit. Transformers. I would like to see what's on the Transformers one. Zoids, which I'm assuming is the old wind-up dinosaur toy thing. That could be fun to find. So there were a lot of things, and they didn't stop there. So the year after they released the VideoNow, there was the... Oh no, later on in the year that they released the VideoNow, there was the VideoNow Junior, which was released by Play School, Hasbro Play School. It had rubberized corners, bigger buttons, eject hatches have to be pulled at the same time to minimise the risk of the disc opening and touching the laser by accident. So it was aimed at a very kid-friendly market. And there were discs for that, again all much younger stuff like Blue's Clues, Bob the Builder, Clifford the Dog, Big Red Dog, Lazy Town, Sesame Street, Thomas and Friends and the Wiggles. So you see where that was going. Fourth model was released a year later, well, in 2005, the VideoNow XP clamshell design. Now that does sound cool because I quite like the Game Boy SP for its clamshell design. Clamshell. Large screen, same resolution though. And then finally 2006, after which the model it was discontinued as a line, the Colour FX, which was basically a opaque shell instead of the solid colours. Now me being me, I paid about £10 for these, including that little pack of discs, but that's not all it came with, because why would that be the case? It came with a case for the VideoNow player and a second VideoNow, which I haven't tested this one in all honesty. I might pop it onto eBay at some point if that's your type of thing. It matches the case, but I quite like the case, so I'm probably going to keep the case for the blue one. What I like about the case is it's practical. Whereas some of the cases I've got just had the complete device because they're designed as a carry case to stick in a bag and get the device out when you need it. This has got a see-through window that allows you to access all of the controls. You can plug in your headphones, you can plug in your power supply. It's got space in the back for some discs. You can probably fit a cable or something in there if you need to, like a headphone cable or something like that. It's got space in the back for discs. Sadly no discs in this one, but there you go. For £10.50 plus delivery for both of them, I thought it was an absolute bargain. But yeah, that's the story of me with the VideoNow, because why not? I've waffled for half an hour. There we go, that's what we do here. And a few of the formats as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe as always. I am going to do my next video eventually. I haven't decided when or what topic. Thinking point horror, but that's something I'm having to really put some thought into. I'm not putting thought into it, I'll just sit in front of the camera and waffle. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.